Salute, everybody. The streets are buzzing. Welcome. Hope you had a great day. Ready to chop this thing up. NBA draft around the corner. I am hyped up, and I know you are too. If you're not hyped up this time of year, then you might be comatose. And the streets are certainly buzzing. Last night we talked about the big board, and tonight it's all about the mocks as well. NBA.com dropped a great article today with all the consensus mocks. So we're going to go through that, and I'm going to reveal my lottery mock as well, 1.0. I usually wait closer to the draft, so I have a more of an idea as to what the teams might be thinking, fits and all of that good stuff as well. So I'm going to reveal my lottery mock tonight and who I think the New York Knicks nab as well. But salute to the chat, everyone out here on fire. Salute, appreciate everyone out here as well. Let's get it. Hope you had a great day and ready to chop this thing up. There's a lot of buzz, a lot of news, and like we do before we get through all the comments, it's going to be a great conversation tonight, and we're going to get through the good, the bad, the ugly. And first off, hey, we're less than a week away, ladies and gents. I'm so hyped up for this draft as well. A pivotal off season. It leads into the free agency and then the summer league as well. Non-stop New York Knicks. There's no off season here, and the streets are buzzing. And the New York Knicks, there's trade talks for the 4th and the 7th spot as well. We chopped that up last night. We're going to talk about it even more tonight as well. The buzz is getting louder that the New York Knicks are heavily pressing for the 4th or the 7th spot as well. Portland and Sacramento, who knows what they're going to do, but it by all reports and some very credible reports that those picks are available as well. If the New York Knicks can be the highest bidder as well, we might have to part with some beloved Knicks, some favorite Knicks that we don't want to get rid of. But for Jaden Ivey, for Benedict Mathurin, we're going to talk about what you'd be willing to give up to get into those spots to help those teams out. And I feel like it can be a win-win, for both sides as well. And the options are going to be available on draft night with some rises and fallers. We're going to dissect all the mocks tonight. And like I said, NBA.com has this great article with all the consensus mocks as well in one place as well. So we're going to bring that up and talk that out. Workouts as well. What happens? The New York Knicks, there was a rumor today revealed that the New York Knicks had Mark Williams in as well. So that went under the radar as well. I think Ian Begley was reporting that. And Nerlens Noel has been central to a lot of the talks with other teams. Not a lot of bad this time of year, but the assets needed to move up to get these spots as well. Like I said, we are going to have to part with future assets and some picks, some players that we might love and not want to get rid of. But let's see. There's a lot of smoke this time of year, and that's why I need you guys to help me, be rational and make sense of all of this thing. And the ugly, let's get on to that. Trading the pick as well. It's going to be interesting. I think we would have heard a lot more buzz if the Knicks were really going to trade this pick. So I'm hand on my heart. I'm really confident that I think the New York Knicks are going to make a first round selection in this draft. It might be trading down, might be trading up. It might be at 11, but I'm confident the New York Knicks will make a selection now. There's talk about the Malcolm Brogdon thing. I don't want no parts of Malcolm Brogdon. And I don't really see that happening. I think Tom Thibodeau would prefer that, but hopefully Leon Rose can resist that, and Walt Perrin and all the work that the beautiful scouts have been doing. Hopefully that they come to meeting of the minds, that they find a prospect that they like and they'll select. And there's a lot of fake smoke this time of year as well. Let's wait from the credible sources and let's see. There's a lot of buzz and a lot of smoke. Well, let's wait and see what else comes of it in the next week. Less than a week away. Mitchell Robinson, I'm starting to feel more confident each and every day that the Knicks will pay Mitch and they'll retain Mitch as well. It might cost a lot more than what they expected, but at the end of the day, it's a business. We can't lose an asset for nothing, right? Pay Mitch, keep him, and then make a decision in the future. Make a decision, right? It doesn't mean we can't trade him later if he's not part of the future. And the Golden State Warriors are the NBA champions again. I was upset with it, but I salute them as well. They turned the thing around in just 2 years. Their dynasty continues. I'm jealous, all of that stuff. But that's just the way it goes, right? You push the right buttons, you hire the right people, you develop the right players as well, you draft well, and that's where you find yourself. And I'm jealous. That's where I want the New York Knicks to be as well. But what's up, everybody? Salute, chat. Kerry up in here. Feels Obi's on his way out as well. Hey, I could really see that happening. Darren, what's good, fam? What's good? And JJ, salute, fam. Cardozo in the house. And P Nice, always up in here. 19 Com Man, Almighty Finesse. Would be pissed if we traded down. Yeah, we're going to chop that up as well tonight. Cameron, salute. What's good, fam? What's good, fam? Everyone out here, salute. Harlem Girl, Eric, JJ, Frank Martos. Let's get it. JJP, NYC. Yep. Hey, everyone's out here strong. Yep. On this next level stuff. That's right. Kaiser, get rid of bum vets and Randall, continue the rebuild as well. One of the reasons why I'm so excited as well, after draft night, we're going to know a lot more about the direction of this team. And I feel like, Julius Randle's, the talk about him is going to continue. The buzz is going to continue with all that stuff. And we're going to, I feel like we're most likely can't carry Randle into opening night, but I could be surprised. They could drop that bomb on us because talk's definitely ongoing. And, the Mavericks traded for Christian Wood as well. So that's interesting. They're going to have to use up cap space. What does that mean for Brogdon? I don't really see Randle, going to Dallas at this point in time. Mitch as well. What does that mean for Mitch? It might open the door for less options for Mitch and coming back to New York. And Kerry says Obi and the 11th and a couple of second rounders for the 4th. Yeah, Obi, the 11, and a couple of second rounders for the 4th. And with that said, I'm confident that the New York Knicks will get in the conversation if the trade talks are real with the 4th pick with Sacramento. Think about it. Scott Perry, a former executive with Sacramento, respect, their mutual respect. I remember Sacramento gave permission for us to interview Perry before we got him, and we gave them a pick. We gave them a second round pick to get Scott Perry. So I feel like that, the Knicks do have connections to Sacramento, but they're not going to do us any favors. At the end of the day, it's a business, and I think Sacramento are going to canvass the whole league. Everyone wants Jaden Ivey. He is the it prospect right now, ladies and gents. He is absolutely the it prospect up in this piece as well. Antonio and Amal in the building, salute. I would trade Obi, Cam, and Deuce plus 11 and Dallas 23 for Ivey. Yep. The Dallas 23 has to be in it. Absolutely. The 11th pick has to be in it. And I said yesterday, Deuce and Cam, if they want one of Deuce and Grimes, if they want one of those two, we're going to have to consider that. Obi, Cam, and I said yesterday too, they might counter offer and ask for quickly, with Sabonis there. How do they fit Obi into that? It's all good. Whether Obi could be a nice prospect for them, but I feel like based on fit, quickly might be a better prospect for Sacramento. I certainly don't want to lose both of them, and I would not trade both of them, but one of them, you'd have to, I think, to take that stab. I said scared money don't make any money. The New York Knicks, would be losing a beloved Knick, but to get to that point, that's just a sacrifice you have to make. And also, as Kaiser hits on, the 7th selection, that is more realistic. I feel like that's way more realistic to get to the 7th spot. Who could be waiting at the 7th spot? We'll see in the mocks tonight. But it could be Benedict Mathurin as well, a lightning fire rod of a point of shooting guard wing as well. Plays with intensity, would be box office. AJ Griffin, do the New York Knicks really high on him? And with the CAA gang, like P Nice says, Ivey, AJ Griffin, I feel like they're at the very top of the Knicks board, I feel like, as well. And salute Ron, still Knicks fans. Ron and John doing huge things over there. Appreciate them for the support. Like and subscribe. Let's get it. And 19 Command Scoot and one of the Thompson twins in the next draft. Yeah, already pumped up for the next draft. I am too. But tonight it's all about 2022 as well. And B. Willis, hey CT, you're a bit Thomas Bryant. My boy Thomas Bryant is a free agent if we miss on Mo Bamba this week. This guy is solid. Yeah, he is solid, no doubt. Thomas Bryant. Let's see what happens with Mitch. What do you guys feel? I'm confident. I'm more confident than I was a few months ago that the New York Knicks are going to keep Mitch as well, for different reasons. They may not see him as a long-term thing, but I do feel like keeping Mitch is priority in terms of not losing him for nothing, or a sign and trade talks as well. Kerry's the seventh, gets us what we don't need though, which is more wings and a shooting guard as well. Yeah, look, I can see that argument. I could see that argument too. I think Benedict Mathurin could just still be the more superior talent. It could still fit next to RJ. Maybe they decide to trade Cam Reddish to LA. Cam Reddish is going to have heaps of suitors as well. JJ, yep, tank for 2023. Yep, Robert Rooney, salute. Let's go, Knicks fans. Get the best scenario at moving up at 11 or move back. So, yep, very rational take there. And BN, don't get desperate for Ivey. That's where it comes into it. How far are you willing to go? Like, how far? Seriously, we have some nice young talent. I don't want to move away from too many of them. Picks I'm okay with all day, every day. Let's move on for some picks. And peeing nice on some stuff there. Beal, absolutely. Yeah, I feel like that buzz is going to grow. Bradley Beal from St. Louis with his boy Jason Tatum as well. So could ish happen in Washington as well. I'm going to chop up every team tonight with the mock drafts and really put my thoughts out there. D Call in the building, salute. Harlem Girl on point. Mitch coming back. Yeah, I feel like it too. I feel like that too. Tarek, salute, fam, on his way in here. Salute. What's good? Yeah, Thomas Bryant has a better stat than my boy Mitch, and he draws fouls. Look, he's solid. No doubt the Knicks have talked about backup plans for Mitch. If it doesn't go well, I reckon they'll swiftly move and they'll make some moves for Mo Bamba or somebody else. There's got to be some buzz. I mean, this is the Mecca. Other players want to come here. So we just don't hear about all of them. And Claudio Davis Acosta, salute. There is no way in hell Leon trades Obi and leaves Randall. He would never survive this upcoming season with the fans. Yeah, it's not going to be too popular, right? I mean, might be a divided fan base. Obi versus Ivey. I mean, it's a sacrifice. I think role player versus a guy with more upside. I think with Ivey, but I'm very high on Obi too. I love him, and I salute Real King, a real one up in here. The whole chat. If you look up the definition of buzz in the dictionary, you'll see the chat right now. Salute. And now let's briefly touch on, first before we hit the mocks, let's touch on my big board final 3.0. We talked about it last night as well. This is what I feel like the rankings of talent will be in the years to come as well. I could be way off, could be close, who knows? But this is the way I see the talent this year. Yeah, it's a very, very muddy view in terms of there's so many prospects that we haven't seen a lot of. Jaden, Sharpe, AJ Griffin with his injury concerns. We had guys so high in the year with Ty slipping all the way. He's a forgotten man now. We have so many risers and a short pool of center talent with Mark Williams, with Jalen Duran. I feel like it's a position of power that the New York Knicks could find themselves in with a center at 11 as well. So, yeah, we chop that up. Dalen Terry is a huge riser. My big board and a lot of people's. He's up to 18 now. I could see him sneaking into the back end of the lottery as well. Jaden Hardy with the G League Ignite had a nice season, came along. He could just be on the fringe of the lottery. Usman Jiang, Tari Eason, Sohan, we know all the names. So it's a deep class in terms of role players and guys that can come in and play their role. I feel, we all know it's lacking in superstar potential and superstar talent up in here. And Steve Gomez, salute, fam. I like Agbaji if we stay at 11. Not sure why he's not rated higher. He has all the tools. Yeah, I think I'll tell you why. I know in terms of his age, Steve, Agbaji, 22 years old. And I agree with you. We all know he can come in the league and be one of the most ready-made guys. But I feel like the trend, that the it thing amongst execs is that they like young guys. You know, I don't know why they shy away from guys 22 or over. But if you're a contender, look at Agbaji, where I have him at the 19th big board. If Minnesota get him, San Antonio get him, Chicago can get him, they'll get a guy that can fit in and play his role. To P nice, Mo Bamba on the way. Yep, he's all over Instagram in Donovan Mitchell stuff saying come home. But we know Mo Bamba wants to come home, right? He wants to come home. Is that going to happen? Is it a reality? Let's see. I feel like there's definitely some smoke there. And Tarek, Cam is in the MASH unit Hall of Fame. He's the he's the IR MVP 6'8" in a gurney. Big year for Cam, like you say, big year, contract year. He's bounced around a little. Huge opportunity. And Fritz Alcindor Jr., salute. What's good? And Kaiser, we will know whether they decide to build through the draft or continue the futility of signing trash vets year after year as well. And this is where I'm more confident, Kaiser, that they're sort of pushing Tom Thibodeau out a little. They're phasing him out. I feel like Leon's running his own ship here as well, and I don't feel like they're going to make all the moves based on Tibbs. It's going to be Leon, it's going to be Wes and Walt Perrin running this draft. I feel Tibbs will give his input, but they made the Cam move, and Cam wasn't on. Leon wasn't on board with Cam, so I feel like Leon's his own man. And like I said last night, Leon's only, what is he, 50 years old or something? He could be a Prez for 20, 30 more years. So he sees his career in New York a hell of a lot longer than Tom Thibodeau can be. And Bodega Wi-Fi up in this piece, salute, best of worst. Agbaji would be redundant and a waste of a pick, barely a rotation player. And Kerry says 20 to 30 has the potential to fall into the second round. Yep, you're on point, Kerry. I've been saying the second round, especially if we pick at 42, we're going to find ourselves a Kennedy Chandler, J.D. Davison, Hugo Besson, Alondes William. We're going to find ourselves a nice guy. Maybe even Coloco, maybe even a center falls to that situation. Yeah, and JT, I feel you. Yeah, Obi's only entering his third year as well. Sky's the limit still for Obi. If you think about it, he hasn't really had that proper burn and proper runway. So Ashley Inc., salute. Appreciate you all. If you could smash that like button, we keep these streets buzzing. And Dirty Dancer, I do wonder if the Noel rumors means they are trying to clear cap room for Brunson. Yep, that could be a possibility. I do feel it's probably a little bit more like Mitch, trying to consolidate that center spot and have a starting center being paid like a starting center, and then the backup like a rookie like Jericho Sims or something like that. And Salvatore, salute. I'd be very happy if the Knicks use their 11th pick to grab Dalen Terry. He's rising, fam. I don't know about 11th, but it could be possible. I mean, he's charming his way up the board with his attitude, his work ethic. He makes guys better. His length, his versatility. I mean, if you think about it, there are a lot of dudes, and I've been saying this like a broken record, from 15 to 30. Any of these guys could find themselves in a starting spot in the league. It's deep in terms of depth, but not in terms of stars. And the forgotten man as well, Tari Eason, he better than Cam, says 19 command, 6'8", 212 pounds, 7'2" wingspan, and a hand like the claw. Absolutely huge hands. Just Tari Eason, he can grip the ball for days. Pause, and continue the buzz. Let's let's flick over now without further ado. Yep, absolutely. We've got to say this. Happy Father's Day, fellas. Appreciate you best of worst as well. All the fathers, the soon-to-be fathers, the grandfathers, everyone out here, salute, and many blessings, and for all the work and all the love and the support you guys give as well. This is your day. And without further ado, this is the big board. And let me flick over before we look at the consensus mocks. We're going to reveal my lottery mock draft as well. So let's flick over. Here we go, ladies and gents. I'll go through from top to bottom. So mock draft now, this is obviously officially based on what I feel team thoughts, team needs, all of that good stuff. And I feel like the Orlando Magic are locked in on Jabari Smith as well. I could see that being the most likely thing. And then that leaves Sam Presti with a lot of, like I said last night, a lot of cachet in terms of he can take that stab with Chet Holmgren as well, right up OKC's alley. There's a spot for that big man. He'd fit well with his length, versatility, and with OKC having many more picks as well, I feel like it's a more safer market and a safer opportunity for Chet to find himself with the Thunder and grow, grow with less pressure in the league. And then in the third selection, the Houston Rockets safely select Paolo Banchero as well, a nice fit alongside Jalen Green and Sengun as well as some multi-positional versatile guys as well. And then with the fourth selection, hopefully it's the New York Knicks select, but I feel like Jaden Ivey's going fourth. No matter who gets into that spot, a safe bet, Jaden Ivey is gone with the fourth selection. Hopefully it's the New York Knicks. But Sacramento, I will say I do see them trading the pick. Gun to my head, I feel like Sacramento are going to trade the fourth pick. It's whoever ends up in that spot reaps Jaden Ivey with that lightning quick combo guard. There's debates for days. Is he a point guard? What is he? He's a combo guard like Marcus Smart mold. He will grow into, obviously he'll develop some more point guard skill set if he's given that chance, but he's great off the ball as well. Jaden Ivey is excellent off the ball with his speed burst, coming around screens, running the wing in transition as well. He's going to look even more lightning quick in the NBA game with the floor opening up and all of that stuff. And then with the fifth selection, Detroit select Keegan Murray, a lengthy wing, a scorer for days, a nice fit alongside Cade with Detroit, next to Sadiq Bey, Isaiah Stewart. So I feel like Keegan Murray fits what Detroit's looking for in that fifth spot. Now, with that said, Indiana are looking for some marquee bang for their buck as well. Some box officeness that Indiana's been missing. And I feel like Ben Mathurin fits that in spades. So Rick Carlisle, Indiana Pacer fans licking their chops at the prospect of Benedict Mathurin as well. What does that mean for the Knicks trying to get to the seventh spot? We'll chop that up after this. But yeah, if obviously the Knicks don't swing that trade for seventh unless they feel Mathurin's on the board. I don't feel them swinging the trade for AJ Griffin. It just doesn't make no sense to me giving up assets for AJ Griffin to get into the seventh spot. So that would really surprise me. AJ Griffin fits well with Portland if they do make the selection. Again, a similar situation to the fourth. If Portland make the selection, I could see them going with AJ on the board as well. The best shooter in college, 45%. I mean, we know Damian Lillard, like we talked last night, he wants a more ready-made guy. AJ Griffin has that crazy upside, and he has the shooting to slot into that Portland team if they do make that selection. Then I've got Dyson Daniels, versatile guy, nice, solid role player that New Orleans it'll fit into their system. They've got their studs. They've got ball handlers and scorers with CJ, with BI, with Zion coming back. Could you imagine outlet passes from Dyson Daniels to Zion, up and down, floor general, finding BI open buckets as well. I feel like Dyson Daniels is probably the best fit for me, is New Orleans. A lot less pressure. Doesn't have to be that guy. Can be a secondary, third ball handler with his length. Could play any position almost with Zion on the floor with BI's length as well. So I do feel like New Orleans would love them some Dyson Daniels. And then this is where the draft blows a bit open with the San Antonio Spurs. They select Jalen Duren as well, the raw center prospect. San Antonio need that big man as well, and they have that. They have a roster that's full of young wings with Vassell, with Dejounte Murray, and I feel like taking that stab on that huge upside prospect with the center spot with Duren is going to fit nice with San Antonio. Fill out that roster hole that's glaring for them. So, and I feel like they have extra picks at 25 and 20 where they can select more guards and wings. But I do feel that they grab Jalen Duren at 9. What are your thoughts on that? Continue the buzz. Let's get it. Now, one of the biggest fallers as well, a mystery prospect, Jaden Sharpe as well. Part of me, when doing this, think, could he fall one more spot? That would put the Knicks in all sorts of situations. But with Jaden Sharpe there at 10th, I cannot see Washington pass up that kind of upside. A franchise looking for a next star, a potential star with Bradley Beal either there or possibly halfway out the door. Jaden Sharpe, I can't see Washington passing up on him at 10. So I feel like Washington takes Jaden Sharpe at 10. And then with the 11th selection, the New York Knicks, if they do make their pick, I feel like Johnny Davis falls into their lap as well. There's a little bit of consensus, I feel, among scouts and with the front office, with Tom Thibodeau, with Leon, etc. I feel like that's the safer pick for the New York Knicks. Johnny Davis with the 11th spot is a New York Knick. That's what I feel if the New York Knicks don't trade up. Then Sam Presti, after selecting Chet Holmgren, he goes length and versatility all over again with Jeremy Sohan as well. That'd be an amazing fit with Chet and Sohan at the 5-4. Then you've got Lou Dort, Shai Gilgeous, and Josh Giddey, probably the longest lineup in the NBA. That would be insane fit as well. So I have Sam Presti taking Jeremy Sohan at 12 as well, with after taking Chet with the second pick. And then Michael Jordan and the Charlotte Hornets have been needing that big man. Mark Williams falls safely into their lap with the first of their 2 picks at 13 and 15. I feel like Mark Williams is that safe pick for Charlotte at 13. They have Miles Bridges at the wing spot. They have LaMelo Ball at the point guard spot. So I feel like, Mark Williams is a great pick at them at 13. And then at 14, the Ohio native, Cleveland, Malachi Branham, falls straight into their spot as well. Falls straight into their lap, just Malachi Branham, and he wants to stay home. It's just a nice overall fit, I feel like, for Cleveland. And then rounding out the lottery, Charlotte with their second stab, they can stab on a little bit more upside with the length, the 6'10" length of Ousmane Dieng, where he can be round out their roster with LaMelo, with the crazy length of Mark Williams at 7'2", and Ousmane Dieng's playmaking next to LaMelo. That'd be a crazy win-win-win. So there you have it, ladies and gents. My mock draft lottery. What moves do you could see happen? Do you agree with anything? What do you disagree with? Let me know. Kerry says, Charlotte is trying to move Rozier. That makes a lot of sense, right? There's a logjam. And D-Cool, please don't get your hopes up that we're getting the 4th. Other teams want Ivey too. Save yourself a letdown. Look, keeping it real. I appreciate that. Keeping it real. Fans do have the hope. I have hope still the New York Knicks can get up to the 4th spot. It might come down to a situation where it's just they bleed us dry. Like, they extract all the assets they can get. Seconds. Maybe they take Mitch. Maybe they want Obi or quickly with Deuce or Grimes. the Dallas pick, the 11th pick. It comes down to who's going to be the most desperate. Basically, what D Cool's saying, whoever's the most desperate that satisfies Sacramento's needs is going to get him, I feel like. And B Willis, let the pick go to the Knicks for the culture. Yep, straight for the culture. Absolutely. Best of worst, big splash move. We clear 40 mil by trading Kemba, Noel, Burks, Rose, all expirings, and along with some second rounders, clear enough space for Zach or Beal, then re-sign Mitch and sign a point guard for the MLE. Maybe Jones, maybe Tyus Jones. Kerry can see Branham going at 9 as well. Yep, I think that's probably as high as he could go. Definitely, I could see Branham go higher. There's a lot more knocks on his D than what I've been hearing recently, and that's interesting. I did see some scouting videos again. I feel like it's a will kind of thing. I feel like he's got the length to be a decent defender. And an almighty finesse could see AJ Griffin slide at 11. That's a huge, huge possibility, fam. Absolutely. AJ is a very, very divisive prospect. What happens with the medicals? We know the talent is there for AJ as well. He's a safe pick from 7 onwards, I feel. I can't really see AJ go higher than 7, just with all the other guys there, but from 7 down to 12 is about AJ's range as well. Yep, and I feel like the Knicks should take him at 11 if he's there. Tarek, yep, like we said yesterday, no more 6'5" and under guys on the Knicks. Some Knicks fans want to be in Sacramento. Jaden Ivey is the only exception. Well, yep, well, I could see the glut. I could see exactly what you mean in terms of the 6'5" and under guys as well. We'd obviously have to clear a lot of them out. I think Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel, Kemba's on their way out. I think Cam ain't a safe bet. Cam's future in New York is very, very cloudy to me as well. He's got the length. I'd love to see Cam stick around. But yeah, I could definitely see him, them seeing what they could get in terms of leverage. 19 comments says 13 and 15 Sohan and Agbaji or Davis and Eason as well. Yep, that's a solid trade down situation as well, fam. 13 and 15 would get us, a wing, and a guard, a center, whatever we wanted, basically, as well. So that's interesting. Whether or not Charlotte are willing to move up just a couple of spots, who knows? I feel like Charlotte's a very, very sneaky chance to move into that 7 spot. Let's say Portland are willing to trade the 7. Well, Charlotte have 12 and 13 and 15. Like they could easily get to 7 if you think about it, if Portland's willing to trade down. And they could have a really good chance to get 4 with Ivey. Could you imagine a backcourt of LaMelo and Ivey? That way Ivey don't have that pressure to be the playmaker all the time as well. So like D Cool said, I'm hopeful, but we shouldn't really get our hopes up that we're going to get this 4th pick, right? It's going to be tough. There's going to be, Ivey is the it prospect, ladies and gents. He's a guy that everybody wants. Look at Ja Morant. The whole league seeing what Ja Morant is doing, and they see similarities. The similarities are there. Anthony, salute. This front office won't make a move. Don't get your hopes up. Yep, on the same mindset. And salute Sonny. What's good? And I want Scoot too, and one of the Thompson twins next draft. Yeah, it's another topic we'll continue to chop up. Will the Knicks fall themselves in the lottery again? Will we, make the play-in, the playoffs, or fall back into the lottery next year? And like we said last night, we shouldn't trade our pick. The New York Knicks should keep a hold of their pick, trade the Dallas one, trade future picks, but just keep our own one. So we need that. And I heard Cleveland won out of this draft, only won a future first. Best of worst. Okay, I haven't heard that yet, but that wouldn't surprise me. They've got a pretty full roster right now. They did have a great season. I heard, if you heard that, it wouldn't surprise me, fam. I could see Malachi Branham falling straight to them. And B. Willis, Leon Gamble, go get your superstar as well. And I talked about our trade, what it might look like to get into the top 4. And I would not be willing to give up Obior quickly as well. Only one of them, the 11th pick, the Dallas pick, and one of Grimes or McBride. And that's my final offer, and some seconds or whatever, but that's my final offer as well. That's my final offer to get into the 4 spot. Because I said I love Ivey, but the sky isn't falling if we don't get Ivey. The sky isn't falling. Yeah, it might take a little longer to get that stud that we need, but let's just continue to be smart, to do smart business. And I think we'll be all right in the long run. Look at the talent. Look at the talent available in this draft. And flick over to the big board. You see all the trade down possibilities as well. And we talk about the shockers in the draft. There's always going to be a surprise. I feel like one of the biggest surprise will be Jalen Duren at 9. San Antonio, yeah, it's a weak center market. One of these teams needs to take a center. I feel like, and San Antonio having 3 picks, having 9, 20, and 25. Out of those 3 picks, San Antonio need a big man. So I think I'm very, very strong that they'll heavily consider Jalen Duren or Mark Williams. And Jeremy in the house, salute 13, 15, EJ Liddell and Christian Braun. Yep, EJ Liddell. Yep, climbing up people's boards as well. Absolutely. I've got EJ Liddell at the 24th prospect, finding himself with a home in Milwaukee as well. So that'd be a nice home. And Josh, salute Uncle Fulio in the house. Appreciate you. Keep preaching the chat. Everyone knows what's up. And what's up, Raf? Raf, salute. What's good, fam? As well. El Tagrasso. If Jalen Duren gets drafted in the top 10, the Knicks should call Charlotte. Tell the Hornets they're taking Mark Williams as well. Yep, great suggestion. On point with that, fam. With Jalen Duren as well. That's a mini part of leverage that the Knicks can find themselves in with such a weak center market. The 2 big dogs at the center spot. Charlotte and San Antonio need a center, right? They need a center as well. And if Duren is there at 11 and the Knicks don't want that center, they should call teams down below to see who wants Duren. Well, crazy upside, only 18 years of age, athleticism, flashes playmaking potential, crazy length, a decent athlete, great size, raw, but in a situation with San Antonio or Charlotte, he'd have an opportunity to grow as well. So yeah, tell the Hornets they're taking Mark Williams. Duren or Mark Williams at 11. Also says JJ. Well, which one do you prefer, JJ? If we are taking them, and just while we're on Charlotte, absolutely crazy news today out of the organization that Kenny Atkinson has done a backflip, a complete 180, and is staying with Golden State. So Kenny Atkinson is no longer going to be the coach of the Charlotte Hornets. Mike D'Antoni on line 2, pick up the phone. What the hell goes on? Does Johnny Bryant get an interview? Johnny Bryant's name's out there. I still feel like he's going to go to Utah as well. I feel like the Knicks probably know that as well, which is why they swiftly hired Rick Brunson as well. I think the Rick Brunson hiring was a lot more to do with Johnny out the door than Jalen coming. And I salute Keith. What's good? Salute to the chat. Everyone out here as well. So yeah, we went through my mock draft lottery as well. I didn't want to go too far in terms of this. After 15, anything can happen. It could blow wide open. But I went through the reasons and the fits that I feel like each team is going to have with these prospects. So give us your thoughts. And then obviously based on my big board, there's a little bit of movement. With Duren at 9. Obviously, Dyson Daniels is gone at 8 on my mock to New Orleans, and I feel like that's one of the best fits for Dyson Daniels. A young team, fits well. They've got ball handlers. They've got stars to score the rock. I mean, Dyson Daniels could just play his game, basically. get Zion Williamson open dunks and layups, get Brandon Ingram on the leak out. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see what New Orleans want to do. With all those stars, they don't really want another guy that's going to take up, hog the shots or the ball too much. I feel with the pieces already set there as well, and AJ Griffin would fit really well with Portland if they do end up making the pick. Obviously, if Portland trade out of the 7th spot, then it's game on. Like anyone that falls into that 7th spot might not want AJ Griffin. They might want Sharpe. Sharpe's a guy that a team could get into that 7 spot to get Shaden Sharpe. Johnny Davis, I couldn't see him going any higher than 7 or 8. Sohan, Mark Williams, Duran, possibly see them going 7 or 8. It wouldn't be a shocker for me. Let's say a team wanted to get into the 7th spot, took Mark Williams. It would surprise me, but it wouldn't shock me. And like JJ says, Spurs have Jakob Poeltl at center, though. He's solid. Yeah, he is solid, underrated. He's a little bit undersized, I feel. He's not a very long center as well. Yep. If the Knicks don't draft Mark Williams, OKC will at 12. If Charlotte wants him, give the Knicks 13 and 15. Tari Eason and Dalen Terry, a win-win. Yeah, El Tagrasso, loving his guys. Tari Eason, Dalen Terry. Yeah, that would be a nice haul, for the Knicks. Dalen Terry rising up the boards. I've got him just out of the lottery now at 18, and Tari Eason, seems to be a guy sliding on a lot of the mocks as well. So the chat absolutely on fire. Now let's get to the situation out here. Like I said, NBA.com dropped a fantastic article of all the consensus mocks. So let's just go through it. With less than a week until the 2022 draft, the lottery is becoming more and more locked in, and especially at the top. So, we've got the Ivey situation, who continues to look like a lock at the number 4. Like I said, the Kings, Sacramento is pretty set in its backcourt with De'Aaron Fox, Davion Mitchell, whom they took last year as well. So, are they going to concentrate on the right fit or get out of that situation? Another player that's seeing his name all over the lottery, Benedict Mathurin. He comes off the board as high as 5 to the Pistons at the ringer and as low as 13. Then there seems to be a mystery around the Baylor's Jeremy Sohan, who shows up in the lottery in 9 of our 12 mocks. The talented defender is versatile and is going as high as 6 to the Pacers for CBS's mock as well. And then, of course, we've got Dyson Daniels. This is all over the place, probably from anywhere between 5, 6 down to 11, 12. Keegan Murray should be hearing his name around the 5 to 6 range. Well, so first they have the most common picks. So let's go through that. Number 1, the most common pick is Jabari Smith. Yep, no surprise. So I could see Jabari with the Orlando Magic in those colors down in Florida. And then number 2, Chet Holmgren finds himself with the Thunder. Yep, that's fairly consensus. Paolo, with the Rockets, a great fit there. And then Ivey with the 4th spot. Keegan with the 5th spot was mocked 6 times. And then they've got him also 4 times with number 6 to the Pacers as a consensus. Number 7, Dyson Daniels, most consensus spot with 5 selections. Shaden Sharpe in the 8th spot with 4 selections. Like I have Duran at the Spurs at 9, 4 selections. Johnny Davis, interesting. The Knicks might miss out on him with 7 selections, and AJG with 5 selections. And then, Dieng finding himself with 4 selections at the Thunder. Exactly where I said in terms of the Thunder can take that swing. They can absolutely take that swing. I think I put Sohan there, though, to complement their pick with Chet. And Mark Williams with 5 and Agbaji with 5 as well. So they're the consensus. Now let's go scroll down a little to the mocks as well. So let's get it. So ESPN have the New York Knicks select AJ Griffin at 11. AJ Griffin's going to be there. How that differs to mine is if Jalen Duren goes 9, of course, to the Spurs. And then they've got, who else is the wild card? Yeah, they've got Shaden Sharpe at 8. Yeah, they've got Shaden Sharpe at 8 as well. So, and Jalen Duren, that allows AJ Griffin to fall to 9. The Ringer has Jalen Duren falling to us at 11. Exactly that scenario, the trade down scenario. I don't see the Knicks taking Duren under Tom Thibodeau in this regime. So to me, that's a trade down scenario. But yeah, in terms of talent on the board, Jalen Duren's got to be one of the better players on the board at 11. What's interesting is they have Ousmane Dieng at 9 as well. So that pushes AJG all the way down to 13 and Agbaji 14. So that's the Ringer, a little bit left of field. The Athletic have Jalen Duren again falling to us at 11. Hopefully a trade down scenario. What's really eye-opening is they have Dyson Daniels at 12. Well, AJG at 9 for the Athletic. And Jeremy Sohan, the huge riser, up in this piece at 7. Of course, with Portland trading out. So, if Portland trade the pick, I don't see someone trading up to get Jeremy Sohan. No disrespect to him, but I don't feel like he's a trade-up target. So that could be their intentions being Portland select Sohan. And then you got SportsIllustrated.com have Mark Williams, the other center, falling to the Knicks. What is it with the centers being mocked to the Knicks? So this is interesting. Obviously, they might be going off more better talent available or trade down scenario with Charlotte or someone else. Shaden Sharpe around that 8 range. That's interesting. They've got Sohan deep into the lottery at 9. So that's interesting. And Ousmane Dieng finding himself in the lottery as well. And Jalen Duren. So both centers find themselves in the lottery. That's absolutely a possibility, fam. P. Nice's Dyson to Portland. So AJG at 11. That's a huge possibility. And Michael Montez says no center, please, as well. Yep. Yeah, no center for me in terms of keeping him. If it makes sense getting more assets, trading down, let's do it. Let's do it, right? If they're the best prospect at 11 and the team's willing to trade up, we need to threaten to take that pick. We need to do a little trade down, even if it's just to get a couple seconds, get something, for them. And now we're on to Bleacher Report. Jonathan Wasserman does great work. Malachi Branham, he has in his latest mock at 11. So that's interesting. And like I touched on last night, a fan, salute to them, an eagle-eyed fan, tweeted at Wasserman and said, why did you have AJG slip past 11? If you said the other day, you said you don't see AJ Griffin sliding past the Knicks. And then he said, new intel, LOL, as well. So Wasserman does like to do his mocks based on what he's hearing as well, fits, and also based on latest intel. So that's interesting. And then he said he backed it up, and he said it's not so much the Knicks a high on Malachi, it's more of AJG falling as well. So could that be smoke, ladies and gentlemen? CAA, AJ Griffin, I said it last night. I feel like his camp would love him in New York as well. And Corey Tulliver does great work, no ceilings. He's hearing that the injury talk of AJ Griffin is a little bit overblown as well. So we're hearing different pieces, guys close to different players' camp. It's all smoke to me at the end of the day. We won't know until the day. But yeah, AJG, no issue with me at 11 as well. If the medicals are fine. Finally, the New York Knicks might get lucky. They might get a top 5 talent at 11 because some teams are scared off, That is a scenario that could be real, right? Kind of trying to pseudo steer his way to the Knicks with this fake injury buzz, you know what I mean? And especially if a couple of centers get picked in the top 10, then definitely AJG could slide. Shaden Sharpe could slide as well. That could blow this thing wide open. And another real wild card to me, ladies and gents, is Ousmane Dieng. I could see the San Antonio Spurs or OKC taking a flyer on his length, his size, knowing that they are great at developing. See, those organizations believe in their ability to develop. Right? They're not scared taking a raw prospect, Jalen Duren. Right? They know they've got the development staff to get the best out of these dudes. Right? So they could look at those dudes as an opportunity to get a steal, whereas other teams that don't have that kind of faith in themselves might be scared off. And then what do we got here? We got Net Scouts Basketball. Okay. We got Net Scouts Basketball with this mock. And they've got Dyson Daniels falling all the way to 11 with us. So that's interesting. Where they blow up is that they got Duren at 9. Yep. AJG in that 7th spot, which is where I had him as well. They've got Sharpe at 6. Okay. Look, Sharpe at 6. I don't know whether Indiana take that risk, but yeah, it's a high upside swing for Indiana that need that star for the future as well. And what's interesting is not many drafts that Ochai Agbaji finds himself in the lottery, but this one he does at 14 with Mark Williams as well. And we got CBS Sports. The New York Knicks take Johnny Davis as well, with Dyson Daniels falling past them as well, with Jalen Duren there as well. I gotta look up how many teams Jalen Duren's worked out for, because again, he is a real wild card for the top 10 in terms of pushing more prospects to the Knicks. Otherwise, if he doesn't go top 10, he's going to be there for the Knicks, and that causes all sorts of decisions needing to be made. CBS Sports with Kyle Boone has Ty Washington with the Knicks at 11 as well. That's a fairly recent mock too, June 17. So could that be a situation where the Knicks, someone else has traded up to get Ty? Maybe the Knicks just take him. Maybe they get themselves another secondary pick later in the draft. Who the hell knows? But yeah, I could see the Knicks trying to consolidate as well. Consolidate the 42nd pick as well to try to get up a little higher and get a second pick in the top in the first round. And then SB Nation has AJG falling to the Knicks at 11, and Ousmane Dieng close behind, and Benedict Mathurin falling closer down to us at 9. That could be a possibility of trading, like I said, for that. And the 7th spot with Jalen Duren and Portland trading out. There's no way Portland's taken Jalen Duren, I feel, to stay on their roster. So yeah, the more buzz for Jalen Duren, the better off for us. The better off for everybody, right? If some team that's in love with Duren and is scared for him to slip past 7 as well, with someone else trading in, that's better for us as well. Pushes more dudes down. USA Today has AJ Griffin sliding at 11 as well. Yep. So it looks like AJG's real range to me by consensus is around 8 to 11, 8 to 12 as well. So, we know the Knicks were their front and center next to the Sacramento front office with Ivey and Griffin's workouts, the pro day, CAA, the connections are always going to be there as well. There hasn't been a whole lot of talk about AJ Griffin coming in, working out with the Knicks, all of that. So look for the Knicks to be whatever they've tried to keep quiet on. I feel, that wouldn't be surprising to me. Basketball News also has AJG at 11 as well with the Knicks. So yeah, there we have it. That was fun going through all of that. And with that situation, they're mainly in the mocks. We went through it. What sort of consensus? What do I read out of that? I read that the New York Knicks, the center spot, is going to have a pivotal say into who's still on the board at 11. Also, whether or not the front end of the lottery gets blown open with a team that wants Duren or Mark Williams over some of these wings, because otherwise they're all wings. Keegan, Mathurin, AJG, Daniels, Sharpe, Davis, Sohan, they're all wings. And a team that may not want a wing, may badly want that center, is going to move up. So Almighty Finesse, yeah. AJG at 11. And same with JJ. No issue as well. Yep. We need shooters and makers. 6'6", size, upside, 18 years of age as well. AJ Griffin, no issues. Me either. A lot. And JJ also says a lot of mocks have us taking a center at 11. I'm with it as well. You're with it. Yeah, they've got talent. Provided we can get more value, I feel like we could trade down. We could get other dudes. Beauchamp would also be a great pick. Great defender, great athlete, great character, and super versatile. Yep, I'm on board with Beauchamp as well. Fam, I've got him in 23rd on my big board to Brooklyn so far with some of the risers up in this piece. Yeah, he's a lot more of a defensive prospect, I feel, but versatility, we need that. We definitely need versatility. Yeah, and obviously the point guard situation. Yeah, Dyson to Portland. Well, that could be a really nice fit for Portland, I feel, with them needing a guy that could handle the rock, free up Dame, get guys in their spots, be a nice piece to build around when Dame's gone as well. And Sherwin up in here. Jaden has the highest upside in this draft and superstar potential. Yep, he certainly has high upside, but it's a risk, Sherwin. Which organization is going to be the first one to take that flyer? And like I said in my mock, with the Sharpe, that situation, I feel like he slides. I feel like he slides to Washington. With that said, and Charlotte ain't trading Bridges, and Kaiser, the most they're likely to fall is Sharpe, as he's the biggest unknown. Yep, and I feel like he's a dude similar to AJG, fam, where he's the one trying to sort of steer his way to somewhere. I feel like Shaden Sharpe's trying to steer his way to a certain spot, fam, because he knows he's going to go in the lottery. It's just about fit. It's just about fit and for his camp where he can end up. And salute Jarvis. Did you hear about the possibility of Randall, Kemba, Walker, Reddish, and Dallas first next year for Miles Bridges, Terry, Rozier, and the 13th and 14th? And would I do it? I haven't heard that possibility, Jarvis. Appreciate you putting that out there. I would do it. Yeah, absolutely. Randall, Kemba, Reddish, Dallas first for Bridges, Terry, Charlotte, 13 and 14. Yep. Absolutely, I'd do that. And we have to do something drastic. The East is on the rise. Yep. I mean, I'm more patient than some, but yeah, in terms of the East improving it, East is a beast right now. But I'm confident with the Knicks' flexibility and with the future assets that it's going to be hard to mess this thing up. I feel like I said this last night. I'm more confident. I just don't think the Knicks can mess this thing up with this draft. Basically, we've got the 42nd pick. I rattled off some names. It's going to be guys like Alondes Williams, J.D. Davison, Kennedy Chandler, Hugo Besson. A lot of these guys, Jake Riviere. Yeah, a lot of these guys that are going to be around that 42, possibly still incredible value. And we could even consolidate some future picks to get that 42nd all the way up to the front of the second round or the back end of this round as well. Imagine if the Knicks could parlay some of their second rounders, get into the first round and get a Patrick Baldwin, get a Bryce McGowan's, get a Marjon Beauchamp as well, if some of these dudes fall as well. So it's time for the New York Knicks to consolidate, right? Consolidate some of these future seconds. Like next year, we have something like 3rd, 4 seconds. There's no way we're going to have the roster spots, ladies and gents. We need to do something about that as well. I appreciate you all, fam. Appreciate you. Yeah, smash that like button. Appreciate it. And you're giving up a proven player for the 4th and some picks. Yep, it's going to be some wheeling and dealing as well. And a close call. I think Duran has more long-term upside. I go with Duran, but I think the Knicks would prefer Williams. Yep. Yeah, you're on point there, JJ. Yep, I like Duran, but I also love Mark Williams too. the guy's got incredible size, pause, but yeah, he could just be an absolute block in the paint, patrol the paint, be an absolute demon. Yet never give up that much for an unproven player, says B. Willis. Stop. He says, yeah, unproven. Yeah, the Knicks do need to make a swing at some point. They have heaps of assets. We're at the point now where our cupboard's full and we can afford to take a bit of a swing and still not fall on our ass if it doesn't pay off. I feel like. No, Michael says no center and no tie, and then we'll be fine. Yeah, in terms of trying to not ruin this thing. And Jet Life in the house, salute. What's good? Almighty Finesse, Isaiah and Jay Dolan are good friends. Yep, absolutely they are. Yep. Yeah, the front office was there, front and center of AJG's pro day. Absolutely, CAA. They got to know all about him. I mean, Leon Rose was Mr. CAA, ladies and gents. His son, Sam Rose, and Aaron Mintz. He used to be, Leon used to be his boss. So the new head of CAA, Aaron Mintz, Julius's agent, all of that stuff, right? They know each and every. They probably know what size underwear AJG wears. Pause. But at the end of the day, they need to use their Kentucky and their CAA connections, right, to make the most educated guess. Because Shaden Sharpe, some people have no clue about him, but the Knicks have Calipari. They have World Wide West to lean on. And Ashley brings up a great question. What about trading back for Nikola Jovic as well? Yep, Nikola Jovic. I've got him to the Spurs at 25. One of their value picks, 20 and 25. Man, incredible length. He could be a flat-out riser. He could be dudes as well. Yep. What about trading back for Jovic as well? I'll actually put the possibility of the Knicks trading back at probably as high as 30-35%. We've done it in the past. We're comfortable doing it. Brock Aller is a dude that pushes for it. It wouldn't make me mad. I could put the percentages of the Knicks trading back at 35%, maybe even more as well. Look at all this. Look how flat it is, ladies and gents. Let's pretend that all our guys are off the board. Maybe they're not high on Duran. Maybe they're not. Maybe they really wanted Dyson, Johnny Davis, or AJG, Sharpe, or Ivey, or Mathurin. Maybe all those guys are gone. Then what do we do? I have Malachi. Malachi there at 11 in terms of big board talent. But he's going to be there in my mock. And let's pretend that all those other guys are off the board. Maybe they don't want to take Malachi at 11. Maybe it just makes more sense trading down. Getting yourself a center and another solid wing, Jalen Williams out of Santa Clara, who's rising up boards. Jalen Williams as well, and a center or something like that. So, what are your thoughts, ladies and gents? If we do trade back, what's a situation that would have you okay with that? And Lucas Salute says trade up. Yep, that's the first aim. I feel like that's the first goal. But Leon Rose is fiscal with his assets. Like he's an agent. He knows this stuff. I feel like I'm confident they're going to give a fair offer, but I'm not confident that they're going to. I'm confident they're going to give a fair offer, and I'm confident they're not going to give up too much as well. And Manchild up in this piece, we're talking about the trade up and what you'd be willing to give up to get into those spots, right? Mathurin for 7, possibly Sharpe, and then Ivey at 4 as well. What would you be willing to trade up for? Salute Hewlett. I said I'd be willing to give up one of Obi or Quickly, the 11th, one of Grimes or McBride, and the Dallas pick. And that's absolutely the most. And of course Julius Randle if they want Julius Randle, then less picks as well, less assets. And El Tagrasso, Jaden, Sharpe recently started doing competitive workouts. He worked out for Portland versus Dalen Terry this week. Terry looks spectacular as well. That's great for both of those dudes to finally be putting it out there. And maybe Sharpe, like El says, was getting a bit more worried about his stock falling. So he's like, hey, we got to do something. We got to do something up in this piece as well. Getting some bad advice. But yeah, Terry, on the other hand, is not scared. He's a guy that's saying, hey, I was never in this lower end of the first round. Let me prove that I'm better to everyone. And Sharpe Powers, salute. What's good, fam? Yep, what's good? Dallas, Lucas says Dallas pick Evan or Burks the 11th pick and a few second rounders for the 4th is the most Lucas would give up. Dallas, Burks, Evan the 11th and a few second rounders. Yeah, I'm okay with throwing in future like 2024, 2025 if they to get it done. To not try to give up Obi or Obi and quickly and those kind of guys as well. But look, who the hell knows what Sacramento want? Like they just don't seem to have a direction right now. They got Davion, they got Fox, they got Sabonis that they traded for as well. I think it's silly they wouldn't take Ivey, and I said that last night. Like, I know they got Davion Mitchell, but to me, look, I know Fox and Ivey are kind of, pretty redundant, very, very similar guys, but yeah, there was all this talk that they want to get out of Fox, so they're not going nowhere with Fox as well. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. But yeah, with Sacramento, they'd obviously take the 11th pick if we traded with them. So they've still got a stab at a quality young talent. And Manchild, I will pick Sharpe over Mathurin at 7 if we trade up. Yep. So that he's definitely going to be in the conversation with the Kentucky connections. It'd be a bit more of a risk to me. Mathurin's proved it at the college game, and we know what he's all about as well. Yeah, Jarvis says, I'm not saying that trade scenario isn't just a rumor, but in order for that to happen, Miles Bridges, would have to be signed and traded. If I am Charlotte, I don't do it, but if I am the Knicks, I do as well. Yep. Yeah, it's interesting with all these wings. Are they completely sold on Miles Bridges? They've got to pay him. So Charlotte's, again, one of the more fascinating teams because they're kind of in a situation where the Knicks are very similar. Young talent, but a lot more higher upside talent than we have. But heaps more flexibility with this draft, with 13, 15. Them moving up a couple spots just to 11 doesn't make a lot of sense to me unless they really want one of the big men. And yeah, Lucas absolutely right. They want to win now. Vivek is like he's chomping at the bit to compete now. He definitely really wants to make some noise out west, and I can understand that, right? It's time for Sacramento to put some assets in the middle of the table and just consolidate. They've got a quality young rising all-star, 2-time all-star in Sabonis. They've got some quality guards in Davion and Fox as well. Harrison Barnes, they want to get out of him. He's out the door. And I think they have a spot for a nice wing as well, a nice wing. Maybe if they don't take Ivey, I could see Sacramento taking that swing on Keegan Murray, or I could see Sacramento taking the swing at Sharpe as well. Sharpe, AJ Griffin, Keegan Murray. If they don't want Ivey as well, maybe they just trade back a few spots. And Illmatic, salute, fam. What's good in the house? And else people willing to trade the Dallas pick next year are insane. They really don't understand how good the 2023 draft is. Dallas is a good team, but they're a Luka Doncic injury from the lottery as well. So yeah, that's a fair point as well. I also think it's a bit of both. I don't know if fans underestimate or the pick. I just feel like that's an additional pick to the Knicks, and out of the two, I would prefer the Knicks to keep their pick as opposed to the other one. But yeah, you make a very good point about Luka, injury being away from that situation. Just how good the next year's draft is, man. It's going to be absolutely insane. That's why I'm not in a rush to really push this rebuild forward too quick, right? Give me a prospect that has time to grow, and I'm okay with that. I want Randall traded. I want Nerlens, Kemba, Burks out of here. Give Cam Reddish, Grimes, McBride, Mitch, Sims, Obi, quickly, RJ. Give them all the minutes they can handle next season, and then just see which ones pop. And Hewlett on the point. This season I'm chilling, not busting my head. We all know the Knicks front office is mad in the head, but I'm listening though. Yep. Hey, so we all are too. Yep. It's these moves that are made now too. I will say, when the sort of the calm before the storm is what I call it. Right. We all like to see the success Golden State's having, Boston's having, but the moves you make right now are the ones that move you to that point, push you forward, right? When no one's watching, right? These little moves or big moves being made, quiet moves, when no one's taking the Knicks seriously, that is an opportunity where we can really turn this thing around. And JJ, I think the upside of Sharpe would make it worthwhile for us as well. Yeah, I'm happy for that too. If they have that intel, if they have intel that they're happy with Sharpe, then Sharpe at 7 or 11, that's not giving up the farm, and it's not mortgaging too much of the future. And B. Willis Randall for the 4th. And remember that the Warriors were a championship team, and then Klay Thompson got hurt, and then they had the worst record in the NBA. Yep, Steph and Klay as well. IQ, Randall, and a future first for the 4th, and Barnes. Yeah, look, I think there's going to be mutual respect. Sacramento and the Knicks, right? They sat next to each other at the pro days. Scott Perry, we know he's a mature, well-respected basketball lifer around this league, and I think Sacramento have respect for Scott Perry. Scott Perry drafted De'Aaron Fox for that organization as well. So just to give you all a fair idea as to the ties Scott Perry has with Sacramento, Scott Perry did some things out there as well. So when it comes to sitting down, meeting of the minds, there's going to be some solid conversations had. But at the end of the day, it's a business. I don't expect Sacramento to do the Knicks no favors at all, right? They're not going to do the Knicks no favors. And JJ, Dallas pick is top 10 protected though, as well. Yeah, I didn't realize that one as well. So yeah, that's depressing if it is. But hey, it's an asset, and I think the Knicks are probably going to try to trade it just to try to get capitalize on its potential before it actually gets to that point. You absolutely hear El's point about the draft being so strong. Like JJ says, I can't wait for the 2023 draft. That's why I want to be real bad this year. Yep. Yeah, you're on point. And I'll go as far as to say, it ain't necessarily about being real bad. It's just about being in a position where we can be bad. Play RJ, Grimes, McBride, Sims, Mitch, play all Obi, Cam, play all these guys as many minutes as they can handle. And if we make the play-in or playoffs, it means for a good reason. These young guys are onto something. But if we don't if they aren't good enough, then we'll fall back safely into the lottery, like JJ says as well. Yeah, on point with that. So yeah, El says the 11th pick in 2023 is going to be like a top 5 this year. Victor Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson are generational talent. Yep, generational. It is one of those. It is one of those years, right? Big Shiesty up in here. Salute. Green Goblin. Yeah, what's good, fam? We're touching on all the mock consensus as well around the league. We got AJG. The consensus is mostly AJG around our range. Johnny Davis, and then the centers as well from all the mocks we touched on. But they're just mocks at the end of the day. It's good to get that idea about it. But I think the New York Knicks' eyes are set on trying to trade up. And I think if at 11, if a handful of guys like AJG, Johnny Davis, Dyson Daniels, Sharpe, Mathurin, if those guys aren't there, I could seriously see the possibility of trading down, go up, up and up, trading back down for one of the centers and another piece for Tari Eason, for Sohan, for Malachi Branham, Usman Jiang. There's a lot of possibilities, and Cam Whitmore, Amen, and Osar Thompson off the top of your head. Having 2 lottery picks next year in the top 15 would give New York Knicks amazing flexibility. Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually one real great thing about when this draft's over, all eyes turn to next year's draft, right? We had some guys even pull out of this draft, which was surprising as well. So, yeah, that just makes next year's class even stronger as well. And Randall in the 11 for Simmons, for Simons in the 7th as well. I love that best of worst Anthony Simons. And I think what you're saying is too, we're going to learn just how much Portland are really all in on that Dame thing. How much a Portland all in on Dame is going to be unbelievable to watch, because do they sacrifice Simons, a future of the club, to go all in to get Jeremy Grant, get Randall, get someone with that situation? Dame was on the lottery days, like we said last night, and all indications point that Portland are just going to acquiesce to whatever Dame wants, similar to Utah, right? These players got the organizations by the balls. Yep. Best of worst, losing on purpose is for losers. I don't want my young guys to learn to lose. I agree, but I don't think they will, purposely tell them, I think young players will try their hardest. I just think, the chips will fall. They'll fall where they may. If the Knicks play all the young guys, their chances of losing will be higher as well. But yet, players can't really tank at the moment. I think it's just the organization and the coach. And to be honest, I'm mad at players left at 11, says Manchild. Yeah, look, in terms of the I said last night, the versatility in positions isn't strong this year. It's like wings or centers and nothing, really. It really is a horrible point guard draft. This ain't a year to draft a point guard in the first round. Now, we could find some steals later in the first round and early second. I like Kennedy Chandler. I like Jean Montero. I like Ty even later in the draft. I like Alondes Williams, J.D. Davison. I like Hugo Besson as well. But we have Deuce as well. So should we just stick with what we have and worry about that spot later? I think the more glaring need for us is the wing for this year. Facts, And Whitehead, Nick Smith, and Anthony Black, also 2023, gonna have a lot of potential franchise-changing type talents. Yeah, that's why I'm glad the Knicks have their picks as well. It started way back with Phil Jackson, Steve Mills, Scott Perry, continued that trend, right? We are in this position of somewhat flexibility because we've kept our picks. There's a reason we have the most young talent that the Knicks have had in a long, long time, with under 22 years of age, 23 years of age, with Cam, Grimes, Deuce, Quickly, Obi, Sims, all these guys, RJ, is because we kept picks. So we are slowly on the right track. We just can't derail, and we can't mess this thing up. Let's just keep building patiently, keep adding young talent until some of them pop long term. Some of them become talent, all-stars. And Jarvis says, I'm wondering if the Knicks will trade the 11th and use it in a package for a star player. Who knows? I think the chances are a lot more slim this year, Jarvis. I just don't see that star player available. Now, if OKC finally come to a consensus of trying to move Shai Gilgeous, then that changes. I think he's the bigger one to look out for. I think Donovan's at least going to stay another year. Dame's staying. Colin Sexton's probably the most realistic, but I don't classify him as a star yet. But yeah, I don't see it this year. The Malcolm Brogdon talk is there. I'm not a fan of that move at all, and I'm not a fan. And all we need is the basketball gods. This front office, yeah. There's a chance Simons could be an unrestricted free agent this summer if Portland tries to clear space for Ayton. They need to renounce their rights to Anthony Simons and another player as well. Yeah, let's hope. Let's hope they go all in on DeAndre Ayton. So yeah, all situations point. Yeah, and yeah, Manchild, I hear you. I meant I'm not mad. I'm not mad at the players left at 11. Manchild says, yeah, I could see that. Yeah, a lot of options. But let's see. To me, like I said earlier, I hope Jalen Duren, Mark Williams go in the top 10. That opens things up a lot more, and it means the Knicks have less difficult decisions to make as well. Otherwise, are they on the same page of trading down? If Mark Williams and Jalen Duren are on the board, the Knicks could seriously trade down, and get to that spot. So yeah, I feel you on that. It's a deep draft, but yeah, I'm actually getting more and more excited about the second round and who might be available from 30 to 40 as well. Because just going back to this big board, ladies and gents, like you see, like there are so many quality players that I couldn't even fit into the top 30, and they're going to be available in the second round. And some of them have every bit as much upside and every bit as much talent as these guys you see ahead of you as well. There's going to be some steals in the second round, like JJ says. Kennedy Chandler, is another one as well. Yep, I appreciate you, B. Willis. Yep, you guys keeping it on lock. We should get Bradley Beal. He's going to be a free agent. Like what P. Nice said earlier, Almighty, I could see him trying to force his way to Boston as well. And Rod says, I could see us in the lottery again. I could, and he said we should. But yeah, I could definitely see us being back in that lottery again. And Tay, salute with the first super chat. Appreciate you, fam. My man CT dropping some love. Lunch on me. Keep up the great work. Knicks shouldn't force anything. Let's just build through the draft and what we have as well. Hey, appreciate you, Tay, as always, up in here, loyal, and you make great point. Like I've been saying that for a long time. Right? We don't have to really force anything. Do your due diligence like a correct organization. See what it takes to trade up. Make a fair offer. If it ain't possible, keep where we're at. Basically, keep where we're at. Continue to kick the can. Build through these young players. See which one of them pop. Give them as many minutes as possible. That's what Toronto's been doing. That's what Memphis has been doing. That's what San Antonio have been doing. Toronto, Golden State, OKC, Houston. I'm on board with all of that. But I also understand some Knicks fans and their situation. They've been a fan for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And, I understand, some of them, don't want to wait 10 more years for a championship too. So I know it's difficult for us fans. We just, in terms of doing the right business, we just can't really mortgage the future no more as well. Because the more we derail, the longer it's going to take to get to that point to winning a chip. In terms of what Tay's saying, also being more patient, not forcing anything as well. So yeah, appreciate you. The only one I could see is SGA, like Jarvis says. Yeah, I just don't want us to get desperate, fam. Yeah, along the same lines as well. Someone will shake loose, like it happened when Melo and Deron Williams became available. It happens every now and then when Harden and Simmons becomes available. We just need to make ourselves attractive enough and start playing good ball, start making the young players look sexy. And then, when the star becomes available, they'll want to come here as well. They'll want to come up in this piece. And if we don't make any moves, I wouldn't mind clearing minutes by trading Fournier, Burks, Noel, Kemba for a Westbrook or D'Lo point guard for a year of a clear salary as well. Yep, I'm okay with that too, fam. If it's a 1 year only, a 1 year clear deal, clear these vets, I'm okay with that, with the point guard spot. Not long term, but yeah, absolutely. Yep. And in the 30 to 40 range, I love Josh Minnow, John Montero, Christian Braun, Ismail Kamagate, JD Davison, and Dom Barlow. Yeah, is another name I forgot to mention as well. Yeah, Dom Barlow as well, fam, as well. And I know Kai Soto as well. Kai Soto getting a lot of love as a prospect in the second round as well. A raw prospect, but a guy who can develop with his skill set and be effective in this league as well. Once he grooms and develops, puts more weight on. Yeah, P, nice hitting home. 4 days till the draft, right? It's just going to be fun too because it leads into free agency, summer league, and then more buzz to chop up as well. There is a player that we can draft 11 who will get minutes. I think Sherwin's trying to say there isn't a player that we can draft at 11 who will get minutes with Tom Tibbs. That's a lot of fear for a lot of people, fam. And look, AJ Griffin would probably get minutes. Tom Thibodeau likes high motor guys. That's why he didn't play Cam, right? If AJG comes in or another dude, Dalen Terry, someone with a good motor, I feel like they could steal minutes. I feel like that. Best of worst, who's going to be at the draft? Great question. Getting my ticket soon. Hey, salute to you. We'll look out for you, fam, as well. Let us know what drip you're going to be wearing, and we'll look out for that. But it's going to be on lock. And like I said last night, I hope ESPN really switch up their coverage and really hit home. Tidy up, clean up their coverage. Right? Don't be announcing trades 15 minutes after it happens. Right? There's a reason why people follow Woj and Shams on Twitter only, right? Because it just ruins it. Do you know what I mean? And Alondes seems to not be interviewing well. He may slide to the end of the second. Dude showed up to an interview with the Warriors front office wearing a Pablo Escobar t-shirt, and it turned them off. Well, El Tagrasso with some buzz as well. Yeah, young guys going with what they feel. Sometimes they're going to find themselves in a situation where they're okay with going wherever they're selected. They're not thinking too deep about it. But yeah, it's a business. Who's advising them? And it tastes like a correct organization, facts, which is something we haven't done for 2 decades plus. Yeah, like a correct organization. Yeah, I think it's more about agenda, right? Each organization actually has their own agenda. People say the New York Knicks are bad at certain things, developing, bad at stability, bad at prioritizing the right things. Whereas in actual fact, they're actually doing what their philosophy might be. James Dolan, to try to be competitive all the time, try to keep the money coming in. Because if that's his aim, he's succeeding. The New York Knicks are the most valued franchise. We're making money. If that is his aim, he's succeeding. But those other organizations like OKC, Houston, San Antonio, the small market team, their philosophy is different. They can't make the kind of bread the New York Knicks can make. So they have no choice but to build slowly, build with young players, build all the way that way as well. So I think, the Knicks, they might actually be doing what they want to do well, but it might just be the wrong line of thinking, or is the wrong line of thinking for us as fans. We want to see a winning product as well. We're just so loyal that they keep making money off of us. Yeah, and Abu Ibaji is an absolute freak athlete. Yep. And why can't we find our own SGA in OKC in IQ? Yep, let's continue that. And a huge sleeper, in my opinion, is look no further than Ousmane Dieng at 15 on my big board. Ousmane Dieng at 6'10", crazy length, silky playmaking ability. If the shot falls, this guy could be a top 5 talent in this draft, right? Ousmane Dieng played pro last year as well. So some of these organizations with multiple stabs could find themselves, sitting pretty laughing in years to come as well, right? All this hype over Jaden, Sharpe, and all of that, Keegan Murray, those teams might be regretting it in the future. That's why I love this draft. It's in the eye of the beholder as well. And a Kai Soto is going top 15 according to Vegas. Well, that's crazy. If that's true, that'd be the huge community out there, I think, influencing. But yeah, last year, Keon Johnson's pops gave me his Knicks hat after he was traded to the Clippers. I appreciate that. Hey, salute. Grab a hold of that. And did you guys peep the draft hat this year? I'm not too much of a fan of it, to be honest with you. I was kind of hoping for a different fit. But hopefully the player we get's much better. Jarvis says, I've been a Knicks fan for at least 30 years. I want to win, but I don't mind being patient. We need more length and positional versatility and make sure we get the point guard position correct. As well, love that take, Jarvis, as well. Yep. I'm a fan of at least 30 years too. I want to win. I agree. I'm patient as well. If we continue to build the right way, do the right things, be correct, and we definitely need length. We need positional versatility. Yep. I'm glad you mentioned that. I saw a chart, right? This chart had the New York Knicks at rock bottom 30th in positional versatility. That's meaning most of our players played one position only compared to the rest of the league. So we were 30th in positional versatility as well. So who would fix that? Dyson Daniels, Tari Eason, Jeremy Sohan would fix that. I think Keegan Murray would fix that. Could play 2 to 3 positions. Dalen Terry would fix that. Ochai Agbaji somewhat. Marjon Beauchamp as well. So yeah, we do. Is that in the back of the mind of the front office? Walt Perrin and all of that stuff. And Ashley says, as a Los Angelian, I don't know why Zhang from UCLA may go undrafted. Do you? No, I've got no idea, fam. I think there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And I also want to make the point, this year is a 58 prospect draft. The two teams forfeited their picks in Miami, and the other team, was it Milwaukee? Miami and somebody forfeited their picks. So it's a shallow sort of draft in terms of picks. And there's a lot more talent too. So yeah, I could definitely see more quality guys going undrafted as well. That's where the New York Knicks need to be having chats with their agent as well. And with that said, also make another point. If you're an agent of a player and a player too, later in the second round, late second round, you want to go undrafted. You could steer your way to any team you like, ladies and gents. So that point always gets lost as well. You get drafted in the second round, you make pittance. You get a contract of 500,000, maybe one mil. But you force your way to the right situation, you could sign a 2-way contract for a couple of years, and have the promise to get minutes, that kind of thing as well. Yeah, I like Orlando Robinson out of Fresno State. Yep, says Mark. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, the draft hat's trash. I didn't like it. I'm not a fan of it as well. And what a dumb thing to do is is an Escobar t-shirt while looking for a job. Yeah. Draft Soto so he can earn more money. Yeah, right. That'd be if Soto goes to the Warriors, Clippers, Lakers, Knicks, huge communities out there as well. You have at least 1 million new season ticket holder subscriber members or whatever, Ousmane Dieng has finishing potential. Yeah, with his length. Lars, yeah, appreciate you for that. He is a guy that's really going to intrigue some guys. Yeah, guys that have worked Ousmane Dieng out, intel with the NBL, with his team out here. And I think a guy who's played pro league, it's a safer prospect as well. They could use that sample size of what Dieng showed showed us, ladies and gents, in the NBL against grown men fighting for their life, for their mortgage. Vegas have us drafting Jalen Duren. Yep, that's not too different to the mocks. And look, to be honest, in a big board, he could be the best available talent if all those other wings that the Knicks like are off the board. That's why we bring up tonight the trade down. I put trading down at a 35% possibility, ladies and gents. I probably put us trading up at 20%, and the rest staying at maybe you're trading up to 20%, whether it be 4th or 7th, and then the rest staying at where we're at, and then a 35% chance at draft moving down as well, because there's going to be options, right? Brock Aller, his MO is to trade down, find the most value, right? He's going to be using this time to canvass the league, doing his admin, his homework, all of that stuff, right? When the clock hits go, it's go time. Brock Aller is going to hit that switch and know, okay, what situation could we move down? We've talked to Charlotte already. We met them at the Combine. We spoke to OKC. We spoke to San Antonio. Yet we're ready. Jalen Duren's there. We're ready to call San Antonio. These kinds of things, right? I'm looking for this front office to show me, right? Show me how capable they are. How much has our organization grown? We've spent all these resources on different dudes. We've got Tim Hardaway scouting now. We got multiple new dudes in the war room as well. We got another assistant coach. Well, who knows what else? We have Gerson Rosas and Worldwide West working the channels. And Hewlett says, seriously, I don't care who we get in the draft or free agency. I just want to see us play team ball while the coaches hold players accountable as well. Yeah, great takes. We all want to see accountability, right? Whoever earns the minutes, give them the minutes. If it's Deuce, Grimes as well. And I feel like Evan Fournier is more better off the bench for the long term, right? I don't want to see him get huge starting minutes just because of the salary. I understand the politics behind this thing, but he's a guy I would love to sort of, if we can't trade, I would love to phase him out in terms of reliance on Fournier. What are your thoughts on that, Fem? Because there is a situation where I understand Fournier did well. Like I understand he did stuff for us, and he is a situation where we can shoot the lights out, but we need to prioritize Grimes. We need to prioritize Cam because we got to make that decision. And I would love to draft Branham, but I think he won't see the floor for a year under Tibbs as well. Yeah, great point, man, child. He is a little raw for Tibbs, I feel. But he is a guy at 11 with a bit more upside for me than anyone else. If the mocks could sort of go this way, in terms of shot creation, like I favor shot creation out of a lot of other skill sets in the league. We need a dude that can get easier buckets, especially if we play in the half court with Tom. Right, we struggle to get easy buckets, and it's certainly in the half court. We have RJ, we have Randall dribbling the hell out of the basketball. We need someone else who can just come in, pull up, fire out of any position on the court, and shoot efficiently. And that's exactly what Branham does. Jazang is a good player if his D was better, but he might get second round looks. Yeah. And like I said earlier, he might not be upset if he doesn't get drafted. I feel like it ain't too bad getting undrafted in this day and age if you can steer your way to the right team. For minutes. And Duren will be a good fit if Mitch is gone. Probably for better after Tibbs. And Lucas says by Monday we're going to hear some more news. Yep, absolutely. Perhaps a late workout. The New York Knicks are maybe narrowing their board, fam, as well. I can't wait. I'm excited, pumped up. The streets are buzzing. Lars says, dang killer crossover closer. Like I'm rooting for the guy. I'm definitely rooting for the guy. He's got a great skill set. And you do a brief summary of guaranteed salaries based on the top. Can I do a brief summary of guaranteed salaries based on the top 12 draft positions as well? It says Ashley. Yeah, I could definitely do that at another show. I'm not 100% sure of the possibility now in terms of what the salaries look like, because I think it's always evolving. But yeah, great question. And best of worst says, look up Jalen Williams, 6'6", Santa Clara, my sleeper, 7'2" wingspan, and it can be a secondary ball handler. He is a great playmaker and a shot creator as well. Yeah, absolutely, fam. He is rising up. Let's get over to the big board and let's see Jalen Williams sliding in at 22 to Memphis. Could you imagine? Could you imagine that? He's got that work ethic, that dog that would fit well with Memphis right there. There's not a lot of teams he wouldn't fit well in, fam. Absolutely. What if we trade for Wiggins? Yeah, look, Golden State won their chip. It's going to be interesting to see, do they do a mini retool like a smart organization does, or do they just go all in again? And you know what? You know what I was thinking too last night? Steph Curry, like, what has he won? Four chips now? Is it 3 or 4 chips for Steph Curry? I could see them going all in. Curry winning 2 more. Like, think about it. If Curry wins 6, 7 chips, all that talk for LeBron, equaling or surpassing Michael Jordan, 6 chips. Could you imagine if Steph Curry ends up with 6, 7 chips as well? Does he enter that conversation among the greats? You let me know. Unfortunately, we won't know for sure if Mitch will be gone by the draft. How could that impact if we want to take a center at 11? Great question, fam. Absolutely on point. First, I will say I would love the draft and the free agency order to be reversed. It needs to be. It needs to be. Give teams that opportunity to draft the player more based on need. But second point I like to make is if the Knicks don't have solid enough intel on Mitch, then they're not doing their job right. Like, between him, his agent, they should know the rough ballpark that's going to satisfy Mitch to keep him here as well. So I feel like if we haven't heard much buzz, I feel like they're probably a little bit still far away. Like Ian Begley reported a few months back that the sides were still far as away. And in terms of how could it impact if we want to take a center at 11, I feel like we could definitely trade down to maybe get one of 2 Charlotte picks to take Mark Williams. I feel like the Knicks probably prefer Mark Williams. I like Christian Coloco, where I've got him at 26 as well. There's some other dudes. I feel like there's more free agent centers available as well. But yeah, in terms of if the Knicks draft a center, then and it looks like they're going to keep him, then Mitch is out the door. Like, Mitch is out the door, and hopefully sign and trade JJ as well. Hopefully they've had all this talk about Mitch leaving. Is he staying? If they haven't talked to teams about potential sign and trades, then again, we're not doing our job right as well. We have businessmen running our team. Leon Rose is a former agent. Brock Aller is an expert capologist. Right? These guys should have been talking to clubs about sign and trades if other teams haven't already called the Knicks. And Elle says, I think the interview with the Warriors would have gone better for Alondes if he wore something more pro, like a Superman t-shirt. JJ, yeah, and RJ and Randall are inefficient ball-stopping ball hogs. Yep, absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, super chat from Lars. Appreciate you. Got the streets chat buzzing. They say, which 2 players would make you happy to walk away from the draft with? Which 2 players? Yep. I'm assuming you mean 11 and 42 as well. 11 and 42. I'm going to keep it a little bit more realistic. And I'm going to say, yeah, if we end up with Dyson Daniels, AJG, or Johnny Davis, and we end up with, let's say we end up with Hugo Besson in the second round at 42 as well. I think that's solid, Lars, as well. Appreciate you. Give us your two players, which would make us happy to walk away with. Now, in terms of trading up, I'll be even more happy with Jaden, Ivey, Mathurin, Sharpe, or AJG. Yeah, definitely. Malachi Branham is another one actually I'd include. I'd be happy to walk away with Malachi, Davis, Daniels, Griffin, or any of the guys above as well. Like you see, I have on my big board as well. I appreciate you for the support as well. It means a lot. And BN, what's my starting lineup prediction next year? Great question. I'm just going to play devil's advocate and say that Emmanuel Quickly is the starting one, Jaden Ivey at the 2, RJ Barrett 3, Obi Toppin at the 4, and I'm going to say Mitchell Robinson is still the starting center on opening night. I think they trade Nerlens Noel, and I think they sign Mitch either to a shorter term deal or they pony up and they just keep him for another year or two, and then they try to trade him later as well. So that's my prediction. Quickly, Ivy, RJ, Obi, and Mitch as well from opening night. And they need to go all in on trading for Shea. Yep, I agree. It's going to come to a point, man, where OKC need to do something. Like, it's ridiculous. You can't just keep stockpiling a whole roster full of similar positions as well. They got Trey Mann, they got Giddey, they got Shea, they got the other dude from New York, I forget his name, and then the other dude with the mullet, Kendrick Williams, and then the other dude. They got so many guards, it's ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely. We do need to reverse that, fam. But yeah, on Lars's question, everyone throw in there in your buzz, which two players would you be happy to walk away with from the draft, with first round and second round as well. Let's get everyone on the clock. Yeah, and the Knicks are shopping Nerlens. You can draft a center and still sign Mitch. Yep, yeah, we can. Christian Koloko, Kai Soto. There are some centers out there. Absolutely. Yeah, I'd love it. All youth. Hope I'm right. Yep, absolutely. That's a little bit more of a wishful thought too. Gun to my head, I think Julius Randle is probably still here opening night. But yeah, I just wanted to play devil's advocate as well. Yeah, it's a shag, not a mullet. Yeah, appreciate you for that. I lost the words. Yeah, crazy what OKC are doing. I'm just fascinated to see what OKC do, man. The 7th pick. What else they got? The 12th pick and the 30th pick. Like, do you see them welcoming in 3 new young players? I don't know. Yeah, they probably consolidate. Really, really. But at the end of the day, that's what Sam Presti does. He's not on the clock, right? They could keep Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as long as they so wanted to, right? Continue to build his value up, then make that almighty big trade again like they did with Paul Pierce and get 3 firsts and just continue to kick the can down the road until they build that superstar team like with KD, Russ, and Harden. Yeah, Griffin at 11 for almighty finesse. Yep, definitely solid upside, quality talent pick at 11 for AJG. Like I said, a lot of buzz saying his medicals aren't what people are saying they are. It's a bit overblown as well. A young guy as well, still got time to heal, still got no rush with AJ. The thing with me is it's not a back injury with AJ, it's not a neck spinal injury, that kind of thing. Knee injuries could be concerning. No, not gonna lie, but he ain't a big man, right? A big man with a knee injury is a bit different. A wing player with a knee injury, it just might not be nothing. And Lars's 2 prospects, Johnny Davis and Walker Kessler as well. Yeah, I forgot about Walker Kessler. I appreciate you for dropping that. Yeah, another center out here with Koloko, Walker Kessler, huge man mountain, and Johnny Davis as well. Yep, fits the system, fits everything nicely. Would slot in. My only concern, the deeper I think about Johnny Davis, is it means RJ is the 3. Like you're committing to RJ Barrett being the 3 long term as well. And I do know some people have an issue with RJ Barrett being the 3. So the more I think about Johnny Davis, I still like him on this team. But yeah, it just means we got to commit to RJ being the 3, because Johnny Davis at 6'5" can't really be the 3 long term. He's a bit undersized for that. Yeah, he could play sporadic minutes as well. Yeah, what we do with Randall is going to be huge with this front office too. Like Almighty says, fam, absolutely. Trade Randall for Wiggins. We do need to get the best value we can for Randall. Manchild, give me Branham and Dalen Terry. That'd be crazy. That'd be versatility at the guard spot and the wing spot. Man, I'd love that too. That's another nice avenue, Manchild. Yep. I love Branham's shot making creativity, Dalen Terry's playmaking, just all round game as well. Yeah. JJP NYC. I don't see that. I think the trade with Randall and Wiggins, I don't really see that. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. But, be prepared for a surprise, in terms of gearing up for the draft, ladies and gents. Less than a week away. The buzz is going to continue. But what I'm going to say is that look out for a surprise on the night too. There's going to be trades. There always is as well. All these mocks we just looked at today, all this talk, right? Talk is cheap at times. We're going to see the real things. Which guys were hyped up, overhyped, which guys weren't hyped up enough. Organizations really aren't going to let their real secrets out of the bag, right? They might absolutely love a dude in an interview, in a workout. They might have fallen in love with somebody, and they're not going to let that buzz out. You know what I mean? So that's why look out for the draft night. There's going to be a surprise. It's inevitable. It always happens. Something like JJP says, I just something that just makes you go, I didn't see that coming. Josh Primo, Josh Giddey, I didn't see that coming. Now, what are my sleeper surprises? I said Usman Dieng later. I said I could see him going as high as 8 or 9. A raw prospect. I could see San Antonio just being incredibly intrigued. And the other second thing I'll say is trades. I could just see a huge consolidation trade from OKC, from Sacramento, Portland. Them just trading out, trading down. Just a lot of crazy movement all at once, like Woj does. He's just going to keep us absolutely stunned. And Jarvis says, it seems I may be misinformed on AJG because I heard it was an ankle injury. Can you confirm whether it's a knee or an ankle as well? Good question, Jarvis. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly sure I heard it was a knee. It was knees, yeah, because when I seen him play, Jarvis, he has 2 knee brace. He has 2 of the knee braces on as well. So I think he might have had an ankle injury as well. But I think there's some issues with his knee as well. See if anybody in the chat could help us out here. And Ash says, IQ, Grimes, RJ, Obi, and Sims, Deuce, Griffin, Cam, EJ Liddell, and Koloko as well. A quality young crop of talent. Absolutely. Having a guy like Branham or Griffin both being real good at catch and shoot would fit real well next to RJ. I like it. I like it ×2, JJ. Great point. Branham and AJG are actually 2 of the top 5 shooters in this draft, like no lie. Malachi Branham, efficient in the mid-range, efficient with the 3-point, and then Griffin, the best 3-point shooter, basically at 45%. They would fit real well. One of them or both of them would be amazing as well. Yeah, there's a lot of knocks on Branham's D, and like Manchild said, we can't really see him getting minutes. I think with Tom Thibodeau in his rookie year, a lot of minutes. But I've said earlier, I think Tom Thibodeau is not the one calling the shots no more. I think the front office said this was your year, this was your hurrah to make the play in this year, and then I think next year it's going to be a bit more on the Knicks system, on their timeline, and they're gearing up for that next swap in terms of Tom Thibodeau setting the table and then moving into the front office. I feel like they're going to move him into the front office. Would you be surprised if they trade RJ for the 4th pick? Yep, I would be shocked. Man child, yep, I would be absolutely shocked if they did that. I could see the logic in terms of you have to pay RJ soon as well. So they get out of that decision to have to pay RJ and they swap him for another talent. I could see the logic behind them making that move, but I would still be shocked if they did it, fam. What about you? What about you guys? I think RJ is not going to be in any trade talks at the moment as well. I feel like he would be in a trade talk for Donovan, but not for moving up. Not for moving up in the draft. Yeah, Wiggins ain't going nowhere. Without him, Dubs don't win, says B. Willis. Yeah, huge, crucial part of that championship team. But like I said earlier, sometimes when you win your chip, you start to evaluate your roster, you evaluate your team, and maybe they say, let's retool, let's see what we can get for Wiggins, and then quickly recycle again for the future. Yeah, East Blue Drew, I hope we get Ivey too. Like I said last night too, I feel like they're leaking more stuff out with Sacramento. They're letting the media do their dirty work by letting all this out of the bag. And then there's all these proposals, these trades out there that we can discuss, the pods, the websites, social media as well. It's just going to put more teams bidding against each other as well. So I think Sacramento know what they're doing. If we move Tibbs to the front office, he will make win now moves as well. Almighty. Yeah, probably you're right. Yeah, you're right. Philosophy will continue on, but hopefully, he wouldn't be the sole one that calls the shots. I feel like Leon Rose is young, like I touched on. He wants to stay around. He wants his future in the front office for as long as it can be. Longevity, right? He gave up being an agent for a reason. He had to give up all his clients, all of that stuff. So I think yeah, definitely he wants to stick around as long as possible. Does in terms of being a president. So yeah, he should be protecting his own neck, not Tom Thibodeau's. And Lars says, would swapping 7 and 11 for future picks work? Swapping 7 and 11 for future picks work? Yeah, I think it would. The New York Knicks have picks every year, so they could trade any pick they like, and Portland can trade their pick too. Yep. So yeah, we could just swap picks. I feel without any players available, and give them future picks. As long as we keep a pick each and every other year, I think we're good. Yeah, it is about to be a disaster if they don't move some of the vets. Yep. And I've given my predictions on sort of selections and sleepers. I'll give predictions on vets and what happens. I think we all know Kemba Walker's going to be gone. I likely see him gone on draft night or as soon as free agency begins. And then I think Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel are a lock to be moved. An absolute lock. There's talk that Philly want to move out of the 23rd pick. And they used to have Alec Burks and they like him. He'd be a nice ready now, win now wing, shooting wing that Philly badly need of. And Nerlens Noel, expiring deal, 1 year flyer for a team, starting or backup center. That'd work for a lot of teams. So Nerlens Noel and Alec Burks are a lock to be gone from this roster as well. So that frees up a bit of money to pay Mitch. We have the mid-level, ladies and gents, as well. Do we solve the point guard spot by going after Tyus Jones and just let Quickly and Tyus Jones battle it out for that starting spot? That would be a solid stopgap for the starting point guard spot. And BN Ochai Agbaji is the best fit and can instantly help the Knicks. Yep, he can instantly help the Knicks. Absolutely, I could envision lineups with him between Cam and RJ, him next to Grimes and RJ as well. He can defend. One of the best shooters off movement in this draft. Tom Thibodeau would love him as well. But where I wouldn't be mad is if it's a trade down as well. I would prefer not to take Agbaji at 11 just because I feel like there are a lot more other prospects ahead of him. And I feel like we could still get Agbaji at 13, 14, 15, that range as well. But yeah, I wouldn't be mad with his fit. Manchild, the front office job didn't work out well for Tibbs in Mini. Yeah, facts. It didn't. But I think loyalty, like again, everything reeks of loyalty with this club, with Aaron Mintz, CAA, Leon, Tibbs, Worldwide West, Dolan. It starts at the top. Yeah, even people that speak ill of Dolan, they always say he's one of the most loyal guys to a fault, right? The guy kept Herb Williams around for so long, Steve Mills, Isaiah. He let Phil Jackson run amok for a minute as well and continued to pay him. Let Phil Jackson hire Joakim Noah, pay him 72 mil. So James Dolan will cut the check for loyalty, right? But how long does it last? Who knows, right? Who knows? Yep, Jay Banchero is going 3 to my Rockets. Yep, yeah, I could see that too, fam. In my big mock draft 1.0. Yep, a great fit for the Rockets. I think the top 4 are a lock, pretty much. The order could slightly vary. Let's say Orlando throw a spanner in the work, but all indications point to Jabari 1, Chet 2, Paolo 3, Ivey 4 as well. Yep. Unless OKC trade down, maybe even more. But I don't see them not wanting Chet at the end of the day. That Timberwolves team with Tibbs is better than this current Knicks team as well. Yep, absolutely. Yep, you're right. More talent. But they were in the West as well. They had some dysfunction as well. But they were in the West. And the Knicks, salute. What's good, fam? Everybody up in here, salute. Everyone up in here strong, gearing up for this draft. It's pivotal for the Knicks, right? I'm just excited, right? And I want you to tell me, everybody, how are you spending draft night? Have you got your calendar sorted? Have you got your venue sorted, your bevy sorted as well? Are you going to watch it with someone? Are you going to rock online? Watch it on ESPN, follow Twitter as well. So I'm planning to go on right after the draft. I'm not going to do a watch along during the draft. I prefer to just lock in, enjoy it. Yeah, just chill out. I'll obviously be on edge, but I'll chill out and then I'll go on after and we can chop this all up. We will chop it up afterwards as well with an instant fresh reaction. And then obviously in the day after and coming days and weeks, we'll be getting guests on to evaluate, to chop it up as well. Got some people I'm speaking to already, locking some guests in to come on straight after the draft to chop this thing up as a fresh instant reaction to this thing. But it could go so many different ways. I'm thinking the Knicks are going to be very, very active with talks, with trades, up, down, signing more guys in the second round, possibly undrafted guys as well. We have Ferren Hunt still, I think, on the two-way deal. Obviously with Jericho Sims, I think they're gonna, if they haven't already, they're gonna convert Jericho. We have to convert Jericho. The almighty Tibbs will turn AJG into Jimmy Butler. Yeah, if his knees are solid, all of that, right? His work ethic's there. Just a quality talent at his age, right? One of the youngest prospects is AJ Griffin. And like I said earlier, my gut feeling is he could be slipping, but his club, his camp may secretly be wanting that as well. They may be wanting to steer him to a right situation with CAA. We know CAA want to be with CAA as well. I don't see Portland taking him. I think they trade. I mean, sorry, yeah, if they make the pick, I could see them taking him. But I think Portland likely trade. Then Dyson, I feel like, is a better fit with New Orleans. And then I can see San Antonio taking Duren. And then it's hard for Washington to pass on Sharpe as well. So, yeah, even if the Knicks needed to trade up one spot, I could still see them getting AJ. Agbaji is a 22-year-old senior who had a breakout his last year in college. Yep, he did have a breakout, absolutely. Yep, on point. And he could go lottery, absolutely. I feel like he's going to go lottery. But he has a great chance of going lottery. Pardon me. Yeah, what if we have 2 lottery pick in this draft? Almighty finesse. Yeah, with Charlotte. Let's look at Charlotte's situation. Let's say if we had 13 and 14, my dream would be Malachi. If Malachi's still there at 13, I would take him with 1 pick, and then I would probably take Sohan or Eason as well. Either a center or Sohan, Eason, and Malachi. If we had the 13 and 15. What about you? Who would you take? The Knicks, Ivey, Murray, Daniels, Davis, Branham are what I want the Knicks to get in this draft. Yep. Ivey, Keegan Murray, Dyson Daniels, Johnny Davis, Malachi Branham. Yep. Can't miss kind of guys. Solid prospects as well. And I think we're going to be talking about this draft for years to come, ladies and gents, for years to come, in terms of just guys sticking around in the league and just looking at this draft like it was a bit underrated as well, But yeah, next year's coming like a storm. Next year's draft is going to hit like a storm with the prospects available, right? I feel sorry for some of these older veterans in the league, right? Their time in the league is numbered because these young prospects, they're coming up. There needs to be more spots available in the league. It's just going to be harder and harder to make the league now. These guys on the fringes, the dudes doing workouts with Sacramento, the retreads, Lance Stevenson, Isaiah Thomas's, Michael Beasley, these kind of guys trying to get back into the league. It's just going to be so tough for them, right? The more and more young talent that comes into the league, veterans need to fall out of the league. Basically, there are only so many roster spots, as we await 2 new franchises to come in. It looks like Seattle and gun to my head, Seattle and the Las Vegas team looks like they're going to come in, which makes a ton of sense to me, right? Or maybe they move a franchise, who knows? But with Memphis doing so well, OKC doing so well, it's hard for me to see them moving, right? Sacramento have invested already in the future as well. So yeah, I don't really see any other franchise moving. I think there's going to be 2 new franchises, 32 teams, ladies and gents, mid-season tournaments, more play-in talk. There's going to be Adam Silver's trying to innovate this thing and trying to make this league global. We're probably going to see a team overseas soon, right? And maybe another team in Canada, in Africa, Asia, who knows? Europe. Yeah, I think their plans, maybe not in the next 5-10 years, but in the next 50 years, the NBA is going to look so different. I feel like Almighty says, what if we trade for the 7th pick and keep 11? 7th pick, I'm taking Mathurin. I'm taking Sharpe. I'm taking Keegan, Mathurin, Sharpe at 7 if they're there as well. If Griffin's there and we have 11 as well, then I'd consider Griffin at 11 as well, at 7 as well. Sorry. Then at 11, I would take Sohan or Eason again as well, or another center. Just for versatility, because we can't pick 2 wings with that spot with 7 and 11. So yeah, it'd be Keegan, Mathurin, AJG or Sharpe, and then 11 it'd be Sohan, Eason, Mark Williams, Duren, or Usman Dieng, who could play a little bit of 3 and 4. And Lars says Dieng and Agbaji, 13, 15. Yeah, Usman, Jiang, and Adbaji. Yep, 13 and 15. That'd be solid, very solid upside guy, and then a guy with a higher floor, a lower ceiling, but a guy that can come in and produce with the shooting, with the D, and the maturity as well. Agbaji. And look, with the NBA spacing and the NBA game, does Agbaji look even better in the NBA than he did in college as well with that shooting? Shooting translates anywhere, but with more room, you're kidding me, right? Agbaji, with more room, he could just be that absolute sniper. And Manchild, that Dallas pick we traded won't produce a player of Reddish caliber as well. Yep, we traded the Charlotte pick, Manchild. Yet we kept the Dallas pick and we traded the Charlotte pick. But yeah, that won't produce a player of the same caliber of Reddish. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, definitely that was a steal, a great trade, one of the best trades in recent times for the Knicks. But what comes of it? What happens with Cam Reddish remains to be seen. We need to flip him for something, or we need to pay him. We traded for him. We need to get something out of him, fam. So yeah, this has been fun going through all this mock draft, this talk. It's been absolutely crazy. The options, all of that stuff. We went through. Yeah, we went through the all these mocks that you see. I'll pop the link here as well, actually, in the chat. If you guys want to go to NBA.com and look at all the mocks in one place as well. Usually you have to go to everyone's website to look at all the mocks. But what NBA.com dropped today is a one consensus mock page with everything, which is great. Updated as well from all these dudes as well. But yeah, I'm not getting sold on all these mocks. Like you said, there's always, like I said earlier, there's always a spanner in the work, right? There's going to be some stuff change on draft night. There's going to be movement. There's going to be trades that they can't predict as well. But yeah, it's always good to just get a sense of what the consensus is as well. And then my mock draft 1.0, I might do one more final one 2 days before the draft. If we hear some more intel, I'll swap it up. But yeah, I don't really usually like to do more than one or two mocks. I usually wait to the very end because I want it to be based on proper intel, proper talk. People do mocks 3 months before the draft. Really, we have no idea, who's falling, who's rising. Yeah, and like that says, Manchild says mocks aren't always right. They're not in the heads of the war room, what goes on. And like I chopped up with Tyler Rucker, no one knows what's going to happen until the team's on the clock. All the moves they've got ready made, the calls they've made with different teams, and all of that stuff gets kicked in, gets activated. Yeah, we absolutely, we should trade Fournier, almighty. Yeah, I want to regress him to the bench or demote him to the bench or trade Fournier as well. And I think he's in the top 3 guys that the Knicks are trying to trade right now. Well, with Kemba obviously still there with a buyout, but with Burks, Noel, and Fournier, they're going to try to trade those guys. With Derrick Rose, I will say I'm hearing, and I feel that Derrick Rose is still going to stick around. He's a great guy, great mentor. He doesn't like moving around too far from home. There's family ties. We'll take Derrick Rose into the trade deadline at least. I'll be shocked if we traded Derrick Rose draft night as well. So we'll carry D Rose into the season. He's a good calming presence in the locker room, and I feel like D Rose is going to stick around for a little. Dallas isn't even drafting this year. They just gave it away to Houston as well. Yeah, in that Christian Wood trade as well. Yep. Yeah, and I've heard the same thing. Manchild says, I heard Philly want Burks. I don't know if it's true yet. Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. How I know it's true is because I heard the same thing. It was not even recently. It was like, I'm going to say over 6 months ago, 6 to 9 months ago, when we actually, it might have been when we first got Burks. There was talk that Philly had to trade him earlier in the deadline the season before, but they wanted to keep him. They traded for him from Golden State, but they wanted to keep him. They really like him, so that fits with the rumor out there that Philly are looking for that ready-made guy that can help with the playoff push. So Philly picked 23rd, I feel. Where are they on the clock? But I've got Brooklyn there, but I'm not sure where Philly picked. Maybe it's a future pick or something like that. Now, this Cleveland one I haven't heard, the Knicks. If Cleveland want Fournier, that's nice. Yep. Let's see what we can get. Does Cleveland have the cap space? I don't know. Like, that's going to be interesting to see. But yeah, Cleveland are trying to go ready now. They're trying to push more win now. Those kind of teams I could see. Yeah, 23 for Green for Burks, done. Yep. 23 and Danny Green for Burks, done. What's Danny Green's salary like? But yeah, I'd love to get that 23 on my, 23 on our hands. That'd be nice. Then we could definitely make some more moves. Yep. They were interested in trading before the deadline, during the deadline. Says the Knicks. Yep, appreciate that. Yeah, I don't want Danny Green either. I think there's no room for him, no fit. We have Burks, we have Grimes, we have Cam, RJ, and probably another wing we get as well. So yeah, Danny Green would be a nice three-way trade where we could find another home. I think for Danny Green, another veteran team. And Jesse, salute. How is it possible to get Ivey, Griffin, and Williams in this draft? Could sign and trade Mitch for Williams if we only want to move Gibson, Noel, Burks, and Fournier to get pick number 5 from Detroit. Yeah, I think it's going to take a lot more than that to get pick 5. I think Obi or Quickly are going to have to be in a deal, or Cam. I think Grimes, Deuce, Cam, Obi, or Quickly, one of those is going to have to be in that trade, fam. Dallas pick, future picks as well to get into that 4 or 7 to get Ivey and Griffin. Mark Williams, I think there's a very likeliness he could be there at 11. Very, very likely he's still there at 11. Yeah, that 23 could get us Dalen Terry, possibly. He's rising, but possibly Jalen Williams, Marjon Beauchamp, EJ Liddell, or Jovic as well. So that 23 is valuable for a young team trying to build. The thing is, Philly haven't got no time to build. Joel Embiid, James Harden, their clock is ticking. Their window is closing. So, yeah, I could see Philly trading that pick, right? These win now teams, they have to go all in while their window's ripe for the East. Yeah, Danny Green's always hurt. Yeah, and he's definitely winding down his career as well. Yep. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that about sums it up for this show. But with that said, nothing more to say really with the draft around the corner. Like, the chat's been absolutely on point. Look out for the next few days, the buzz to continue, and I might drop another final mock. If there's extra intel or something, look out for the right guys to follow. The reporters, the credible ones, with the outlets, and Ian Begley's, Wasserman's, you know them. New York Post, Daily News, those kind of guys, what they're hearing. The beat writers are in the gyms now, being able to see workouts, seeing prospects, interview them as well. So that's a great development as well. Yeah, but with that said, we'll always keep the streets on lock, keep them buzzing. Appreciate everyone tonight. Replay gang, salute. Join us in the conversation in the comment section as well. Like I said, I'll be going on after the draft next week. We'll be talking about that, talk about what happened. But yeah, I'll enjoy the draft, just chilling back and watching it without a watch along, and then jump on and chop it all up. But yeah, let's get it. Shout everyone out on the outro. Let's get it. Peace.